Hey guys and gals, welcome to Vinny Vid Productions videos. This is a model railroad channel. BNSF 6951 shares layout updates and rail fanning videos. Vinny Built Structures shares scratch builds, kit builds, and kit bashes. And on Friday night, we have the Cuz. That's right, on Friday night, I do a live stream and it's called Hanging with the Cuz. If you like these type of videos, please consider to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and hit that bell so you'll be notified when I do future updates on live streams and or videos. With all that being said, let's get on with the video. We'll be right back. This Vinny Vid production brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. For all your model railroad needs, check out Yankee Dabbler. Don't forget, 7% discount with BNSF 6951. And by Highways and Byways, awesome street graphics for your roads and streets on your model railroad layout. If you guys are looking for sophisticated model railroad electronics, Logic Rail Technologies has what you need. For a 5% discount on certain items, use code BNSF6951. Alright guys, now it's time for the next step on your layout. Trees! I have been dealing with Bob for 7 years now, and he does excellent work on his trees. So if you need some trees on your layout, check out Long Shadow's Trees. Tell him the Cuz sent you. Alright guys and gals, I guess now you're ready to see part 3 and the reveal of this Diamond Coal Corporation build that I am doing. But before that, I wanted to do something to be able to take nicer pictures of the work that I do so I can, display them in various places, whatever. So I actually bought this. And I'll go more into that later on in another video. But I also wanted to create a little scenic scene so I could place the model on and take pictures, so on and so forth. So the first part of this video is going to be me building that scene, and then we'll get into the rest of the build for Diamond Coal Corporation. I hope you enjoy the video, so let's get going. Alright guys, I decided that when I do my builds, I want to have some place to take pictures of it. So I am going to do this little scene right here. We got a little mountain right here, and basically I'm building this for the project I am doing for Mr. Mel Fackler. I did put a hole in here, so when I put the conveyor in, it looks like it goes into the mountain. I'm going to have a small little dirt road that goes through there, and I'm going to be using real sand that was sent to me by Shane's Trains. Yeah, Shane, I'm finally getting to use it. My procedure on this is to basically use the paint as the initial glue down, and then after that's done, I can do the stuff with the wet water and glue and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we're going to start with the mountain. I'm going to start painting it, and then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle the stuff on there, and then I'll go ahead and paint the base. So that being said, let's get going on this. As I said, most of it. But this is just to give it a little bit of texture is all I want, really. I'm going to cover this up with some other ground cover. Alright. Now, like I say, 100% of this is not going to stick on here, but that's where the glue will come in later on. Right now I just want to get a base coat on here. There you go. Alright, so now the next piece is to clean this up and paint this and do the same thing basically. So that being said, we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, we're going to start dressing this little hill I got here going on. We're going to use some of this JTT green grass or green turfs, whatever it is. Grass green fine is what we're going to use here. Alright, so this is the way I do it. I know there's a lot of people that probably have other ways of doing it, but we're going to go ahead and wet this down a little bit. And I'm going to take my grass and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top of there, and being wet it'll hold it in place until I put the glue on here. Now this will get glue, and I'm not putting that much on here because we're going to put other stuff. I just said we're not putting that much and a whole bunch just falls out. That's funny. Alright, and then we can also tip it up and put some down here, and something along the edges here and along the edges there. Alright, so now that we got that done, I'm going to add some bushes. And this is Scenic Masters. This is not even the bushes, it's just a different color grass, which we will put on here. It's a different color grass. I gotta break up the chunks here. Oops, oops. This is going to give it a little bit more texture. All right. And we'll go ahead and wet this down and glue it down, and we'll move on to the rest of the board that I have under the paper right now. So again, we're going to do a little wetting. Make sure it's nice and wet. And then we got our 50-50 glue, and hopefully it'll work. And we're just going to saturate this all with the glue. And let's do it this way. Yeah, just put it on there. Let it flow. And we're going to hit that again with more glue later on. But for right now, let me get this back part with some glue. We'll hit it again with the glue as we add more texture onto here. We're going to let that dry up, and I'll remove this paper that I have down here. We'll do some of the same stuff on the lower board here. So stay tuned, and we will be back shortly. Alright guys, now we're going to work on this area here. Same basic thing, we're just going to wet it down first. Now I'm not wetting this area here because the structure that I'm going to put on this scenic element is going to be sitting in that area, so I don't want to mess that up. And this one here, I think we're just going to kind of sprinkle it out from the bottle. It's coming out, I don't like coming out of the bottle. I don't have that much control over it. But it'll work for now. It's just a scenic element. Go ahead and scrape that off of there. And we'll scrape this off of here because this is going to be kind of like a dirt road that's going to get to the industry. Yeah, it's a cut-off brush. I needed to get into a spot. Yeah, I think I'm just making this worse right now. Anyhow, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add some of those bushes. And again, this will get another coat of glue. This is just like coarse turf is basically what it is. It's not really even bushes. I do have bushes though. I'm going to put some bushes in there. Yeah, put some over here on this side. Alright. And let me get the other bushes that I have. And I know somewhere in my inventory I got some small rocks and stuff that I'll be putting in this scenic element. Here's some of the bushes. Just spread these out. Put something up in this mountain. Mountains, hills, that are mountain. Oops. Yeah. I also painted the backdrop. This is a poster board right here. I just did some spray paint, and it worked out pretty good actually. There you go. That'll be good enough for now. I'll put some over on this side. This is not going to be only for one building. This, pretty much I'm doing this so I can have a good place to do photos. When I want to do some photos. We're going to put some of this stuff down in here to cover up the seam. I'm not going to glue this down, the mountain or the hill, whatever you want to call it. So I may want to change that up. I may make it interchangeable. But this is basically just for pictures. This stuff is all clumped together. Wow. Come on. Wake up. There we go. Alright, I think that's going to be good enough for this. Move around the corner here. It's got static electricity in it or something. It's moving on its own. Yeah, alright. Cover up that white spot right there that I missed when I was painting. There you go. Alright. I think that'll look pretty good. And for the final touch, we're just going to stick 1 or 2 trees in there. Maybe a couple down here, I'm not sure yet. But we're going to go ahead and hopefully spray this down and they won't move. We'll hit this with a little of the white glue, just a couple of drops on top of each one of these guys. Oops, I'm not supposed to roll down the hill. There was detergent in my 50/50 water. This is not going to be moved, this is just going to be stationary right here. So I'm not really too worried about how much glue I'm putting on here. But I'll put enough to hold everything in place. Alright. Now if I had some rocks and stuff. Let's see what I got down here. Nope. I'll find some rocks. I know I got some rocks somewhere and I'll put some rocks amongst all of this stuff. Like I said, I'll put a couple of trees in there, and this will be pretty much ready for taking pictures. Just something really simple that I just want a backdrop for it. I did get a new camera, and that's why I'm doing this. I did get a Canon Rebel T7, and that should be here sometime in the next couple of days. So I want to do some really nice pictures of my work that I've been doing, especially that one train station that I'm going to be building. I think we use a couple more bushes up here on the top, especially the ones down here that I want to try and do is define the road here also, so I'm going to put some bushes along the road. Just kind of give it a little definition, because I'm going to put the same color dirt in there. And I probably don't have to do this, I probably could just add some more grass color in there, and that's probably what I'll do. I think I got some yellow grass somewhere along here also. I need to get that out. See, I think that grass is too green. It's too dark of a green. So I'm going to go see if I can find my other, my yellow grass and lighter grass to add to that. So stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, now we're going to attack this dirt road that I'm going to have back here. And what I'm going to use for that is some Arizona dirt. And this has been sifted several times. I got it from one of the rail fanning spots that I go to, like the Castle Hot Springs. I picked up a bunch of this dirt, sifted it out. And so what I'm going to do is a little bit different. This time I'm going to go ahead and lay the glue down in there, spread it out with a brush, and then lay the stuff on top of it. So, let's start here in the middle. Let's just put a bunch in here. Now we'll go ahead and just take this and just kind of spread it out. I do it this way because otherwise when you spray, the dirt will get thrown all over the place. So I'd rather just do it this way and it'll be just as good. Try and keep the curvature of the road that I want. And this dirt should get darker when I put it down. When it gets wet, it gets darker, and when it dries dark. So, again, we're going to use my little spoon method and just go ahead and lay this out. Is it hard? Once this glue dries, once this part dries, I will leave it against the glue. I'm just going to show you, it gets down and stays down. But there you go. Now I have a road going through there. And I think that's going to look pretty good once the building gets in there. Alright, well, you know what I'm also going to do is I'm going to spread some of this dirt in here. Just to break up all of that green that's in there. That's all. Just like that. Get a little bit up on that mountain. Just to give a little variation in the brown, because dirt is not always one color. There you go. I think that that's looking real good. So the next thing is now I'm going to pop a couple of trees in there, and we'll see how this is all going to look. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, so now you're looking at the completed scenic module that I made. It's just for me to take pictures and stuff like that, and of course I didn't glue this down back here, so I can always change that out if I wanted to. None of the trees are glued in. The only thing that's really glued down is the ground cover. Other than that, let's see what this is all going to look like when I put a building in there. And the building I'm going to put in there is the Diamond Coal Corporation that I'm doing for Mr. Mel Fackler, and that's going in this little diorama right here. Anyhow, stay tuned for the reveal of this kit coming up at the end of this video. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye for now. Alright guys, that was a lot of fun to do. I haven't done scenery for quite a while, but anyhow, now that you've seen how I will be doing scenery both here on this little module that I'm doing and on my layout, basically it's going to be the same thing. Now, if you stay tuned, I'll give you guys a little bit of a break, and in about 15 minutes, part B of this video will be up for you guys to view. And in that video, I show you guys how I finish the project and all the stuff that I did to get the project finished. And then I will do a slideshow of the model on the scenic module that I made. Anyhow, stay tuned for that. We'll see you in a few minutes. Bye for now. Alright guys, as you can see in front of you right now, I have a whole bunch of more parts than I had earlier. Like I said, the building wasn't prime. It is now painted, and I will go over the paints that I have used at the end of this video. But you can see it's a nice color gray that I chose for this building. Anyhow, all the buildings have been painted the same color. The sides of the conveyors have been the same color, and I also did the tops in a aluminum, metallic aluminum, as well as all the roofs. Now, we are going to start putting some of the final stuff on here because this kit is getting really close to being done. I am waiting for Mr. Mel to call me back on the color of windows I chose for this building. I want to find out if he likes it before I actually put them in. So, with that all being said, what we're going to do today, or in this video, is we're going to go ahead and assemble this guy. As you can see, I do have the ladders that go on this structure right here, all painted up in yellow, and that's what we're going to be doing, installing those ladders, installing the building on top of here, and also installing the they did call it something, I forgot. I want to get the correct name for that. Hang on a second. They call that slag something or other. Oversized glue behind the masonry shed. No, we already did that. This is called, I saw it in here somewhere. Anyhow, it's some sort of a storage unit. So I already, as you can see, I already put the walkways on this one here, and also on the main structure here. So what we're going to do is we are going to put all of this together with the ladders, And there is a specific way that this goes on here. If you can see, let me get this out of the way here. You can see this part right here sticks out a little further, and there's a reason for that, because one of the ladders attaches to that. So when you orient this, you need to make sure you orient it correctly. When I first put this guy together, I thought I had it backwards. I thought when I built the shed, I actually put this wall. Let me see. I got to get used to getting the second camera in here. And get both cameras in at the same time. All right. Anyhow, what I did was I thought I put this wall on the wrong side. So I'm saying to myself, well, how am I going to take this apart without hurting it? Then I look at the picture on the box, and I have it the way it's supposed to be is the way I have it. So I was really happy about that. Now, because I have both units that are painted here, we're going to use a little bit of this Gorilla Glue to glue this section apart, because I have glue in here, I have glue on the outside here. I'm sorry, paint. And there's paint here and here. So we're going to use this glue to actually glue this together. So I'm just going to take this just to put some glue on there, and we'll use this toothpick to apply the glue. And I think what we'll do is we'll apply it to the tank itself. Good. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of glue down here on the bottom. And we're going to do the same thing with a toothpick again. Let's move this out of the way, move this over here so we can see overhead also. All right, and we're just going to take this and just spread it. I do have micro brush. So we'll put that on the side for now. And next thing we're going to do is put the platforms and walkways on the building itself. So let me move this guy out of the way. Now, move these guys out of the way. And so we got a platform that's going to go here and here, and then there's going to be stairs that come down from each one of those. The stairs I'm not going to put on just yet, only because they have the one that's on this side actually sits on the foundation, and then there's an extra foundation for the other set of stairs. So I want to get the building pretty much complete before I put the stairs on, but we will go ahead and put the platforms on here. So before we even do that, I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to scrape I'm going to scrape where the boss is, where the platforms are going to sit, because there is paint on there, and I just want to make sure that I get a real good bond. Because, you know, the thing is, I have to think about, when I do these kits, I have to think about, hey, these guys are going to be in a box, in a mail truck, possibly on an airplane. So I have to make sure that they're pretty well built. All right, that's one of them. And then we'll go ahead and do this guy. Now I'm just taking a couple of layers of the paint off just so it has something to adhere to. And I did not paint the bottoms of these guys, only because you're probably never going to see the bottoms anyhow. So, all right, so we got this one, I believe, is the corner. And I have not dull coated any of these yet. So All right, so there you go. Now we have that on there. Get this guy out of the way. And look at that. They're looking good. I think so. Anyhow, we'll continue on with this and see what else we can get into here. I might be able to put at least one or two of the roofs. No, I'm not going to put the roofs on, so I put the windows in. All right, well, I guess that's as far as we can go at this point. I'm waiting for Mr. Mel Fackler to call, to either text me, email me, or call me and let me know if he likes the colors of the windows. And then I can go ahead and start putting the rest of this together. Anyhow, stay tuned, and we will be back in a little bit. Alright guys, the parts you see in front of you now are the few remaining parts to complete this build. And yes, I did speak to Mr. Melvin about the color of these windows, and he likes it. He gave me authorization to go ahead and install them. So, we're going to do on this guy right here. Now, I always tell you guys that glue does not work on paint. So with that being said, because I painted the inside here and I also painted the windows, I'm going to have to do something to make the glue adhere to the building. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my knife and I'm just going to scrape the edges just to get the glue off of here. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to be using this CA glue. It's from Bob Smith Industries. So it seems to be working okay. There's like 30 something windows and I'm glad I didn't have to cut them all out. Anyhow, with that being said, I think we should get going. So basically I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to scrape along where the detent is. And I'm just going to do this on all the windows on two sides, the two longest sides. And as you well, anyhow, I don't think that this red for the windows is very prototypical for this type of an industry, but I thought it looked good, and so I got in touch with Mr. Mel, and he said go for it, and I said okay, and so here we are. Alright, I'm going to take a break now and get set up to do the gluing part of this, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, unfortunately the clip that I showed how I put the windows in here magically disappeared. I don't know what happened to it. I can't find it. Maybe I'll find it later on, but for now I just can't find it. So our next step with this now is go ahead and put this acetate in there. Now I already measured that. That's 5 feet, 5 scale feet. So we're going to go ahead and do a 5 scale foot piece here, and I don't think we're going to be able to see a pencil on here, but we'll try it. So there's our first piece, and it should go right over just like that. Looking very, very nice. I like it very much. So what we're going to do now is I am going to use this clear plastic, clear cement for clear plastic. Duh. Come on, Vincent, get it together. All right, and I'm just going to to this, and I'm going to do basically the same thing I was doing with the windows. Too bad you couldn't see how the windows were done. But I'm just going to put a little drop on here and take a little toothpick and basically and we will let him dry up and we will carry on. Anyhow, we're just going to do that to this section of the building and then to the other section of the building. So with all that being said, we'll be back here in a few minutes. Alright guys and gals, what all we've been waiting for is the reveal for this Diamond Coal Corporation model that I am doing for Mr. Melvin Fackler. So check it out. There it is, fellas. Looking really good. I like the window combination. And I should actually show you guys all the color paints that I use. So hang on and I'll be back here. Alright guys, these are the colors that I used for this build. Starting on this end here, we have stone gray, is which the entire body of the build is made up from. The windows are this colonial red. I thought it was really cool color, so that's why I chose it to do the windows. For the roofs and conveyors, I used this aluminum metallic. And then finally for the handrails, I used this Canyon Black, it's called. And then this guy here is what I used for the foundations. It is a Rust-Oleum product, if you guys can see that on there. But it is a Testors brand. And this is that airplane gray. Works really well for for concrete, I think, anyhow. Anyhow, with all that being said, let me get this paint out of the way and let's go over the model itself. So we'll be back here in a few minutes. Alright guys, there's really not too much to show you on this model. The best thing for me to show you is the slideshow I have of it on the scenic module that I did. But anyhow, we'll just go over some of the things that I've done. As you can see here, I thought I had this guy built wrong. I thought I had these two walls opposite each other, but then when I looked at the picture, no, I have it 100% correctly. I also put a very, very light weathering on here with some dark gray powders, sorry, that I had. But the most important thing I think that I did on this build is I added this 20 thousandths styrene foundation. And the reason why I did that is because this stairwell or staircase, whatever you want to call it, would have been just hanging out, and if you lift it up it probably would fall off. So I decided to put this on, and it does not disturb the track, as you will see when I do the slideshow here later on. The only color I did not tell you about was the yellow on the ladders right here. And that again is another Testors product, and it's just called Gloss Yellow. And again, it's a Rust-Oleum product. Alright, so all the handrails are as secure as I can get them. I didn't want to mess anything up, and I can see that this one here actually needs to go in just a little further. I'll check that out before I put it in a box and ship it. As you can see down here, my coal chutes are in and ready to be serviced. All the framework has been painted black. Concrete was that color I showed you earlier. So basically, I'm just going to take you over to the still shots and show you what this actually looks like on the layout, or when it's on his layout. Anyhow, hope you guys and gals enjoyed this. And as always, your questions, comments, inputs, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 and Vinny Built Structures out for now.